Hello, it's Stephen Englander. It's me, and we're coming up with some of the latest business news on our programme Between the Spreadsheets. Today we're going to have a little look at Geoffrey Cox, the MP, Montana Brown from Love Island, which I never watched, I just want you all to know, and what's this other one we've got? The Tory MP, Adam Afrayi. Have I said that right? Please tell me I've said it right. Okay. But yes. Thank you, Graham. Thank you.
Yes, you did.
So we're going to. Oh, and as a special treat at the end of the show, hopefully it'll get you to watch to the end. I've got some NASA footage of how they see the future of travel. So I thought we'd put that at the end, and I thought all those interested in how NASA see the future might go and watch that. But let's get back to the Tory MP Geoffrey Cox. Is he a Tory MP? Yeah. He's in the news at the moment because he's got a second job that's brought him quite a lot of money in, and Labour are looking for an investigation into him because they don't think it's right that MPs have second jobs. I know this is very close to your heart, Graham, because you've always got a lot to say about public figures. But my take...
Get rid of a lot of them, Stephen.
Well, but then what do? We have a government like Cambodia has. So, but no. The thing here with MPs is I think it shows an inherent distrust of people in power, because if an MP's got a separate job, is it that he's unfairly using his sort of all his position, or can we trust him? Is there going to be a conflict of interest, or is he just going to be raping the system for what he can get? Which, I suppose it's how much you trust the MPs. And I know that those people watching who know a little bit about ancient philosophy will know that people like Socrates and Plato often said that the people in government, people that rule, should not be allowed to own any property or even really earn any money. They weren't really supposed to have families, so the whole idea was public service, not lining their own pockets. What would you do if you were in government, if you were an MP, Graham? Would you line your own pockets, or would you work for the public good?
Well, obviously I'm not an MP, so
No.
I would say that I would not line my own pockets, but then I'd be sat there in my office, someone would knock on the door, or whatever it is these days, and I'd probably be corrupted as fast as any of them.
Yeah. So you do believe they're corrupt?
All of them as well, not just the Tories or Labour. They're all completely corrupt. No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, even that one Green MP, she's constantly advocating for just absolute authoritarian takeover of the entire country, and it's like just to
Well, maybe there's something in it. I'd like
what, authoritarianism.
Yeah, as long as as long as it's under my rule. I just like to dominate the world and rule. I'd be a benevolent ruler, but maybe poor old Geoffrey. Maybe he's just not earning enough money. I mean, what's he on? 89,000 a year as a politician.
It's something in that.
But by the time they've taken tax out, that's a considerable cut. Maybe he just can't manage. Maybe he needs some sort of side hustle. But we're going to talk about side hustles soon and businesses but
I agree, Stephen. I think all MPs should have a humongous pay rise.
Yeah.
Way above what the nurses are getting.
Well, I was going to say that you could cut nurses' wages.
Yeah.
And help them.
They're already on universal credit, so they'll get more anyway.
What's the big deal?
They'll just get a higher thing.
Yeah, I want to say it's shocking, but I don't know if it is, because there was that other guy as well, Adam. Oh, I can't say the name. I'm so sorry, Adam. Adam Afrayi, and he's in the papers as well. I know I've jumped a few stories, but I think it relates if we're already talking about politicians. And he's a Tory MP, and he's in sort of tax dispute with HMRC, where HMRC are apparently have put a stat demand in order to bankrupt him for unpaid tax. I mean, what is the point of being a Tory MP if you have to pay tax or you can't find a way out of it? But what interests me is you read these things in the press and you just don't know how much you can take things seriously, because there's a few holes in this. I mean, I looked up, Adam's been saying he owes some tax from his past, which is implying that he's got some sort of shady past. So I'm thinking, again, a Tory MP with a shady past and shady business dealings. it's unheard of. But I went and looked at Companies House. That's always a starting point at his companies. Now, it seems that he's been a director involved with 10 different companies. Nothing wrong with that. I've got to say, I know plenty of people. In fact, I know so few people in business that don't have more than one company. Because you have ideas, you get involved in different things. The entrepreneurial spirit means that a lot of people do try things out. And in this case, out of 10, I found out that 6 of them have actually been liquidated or struck off. One of them hasn't traded, so it's an idea, and he's resigned from 3 of the companies he was in, which again isn't unusual. I mean, 60% of the companies he's been involved in have gone into liquidation. But again, it's not unusual. It's without looking to the sort of what happened and if he, how much money was involved. But so the other thing here is that if he's got limited companies and they've gone into liquidation, if like with any of us, and it goes on all the time, and there are some tax bills, there are some bills outstanding, the situation is that they're the debts of the company and they sort of die with the company. So Adam wouldn't really be held responsible for these tax debts just because he was a director or shareholder of a company. It's one of the reasons why it's safer to operate a limited company, unless, of course, he's been naughty or negligent, in which case they could argue that the company's lost money or gone into liquidation because you've not done things properly. But that's another thing. But where they're really saying is that it seems that he had some property, a nice mansion, and he was renting it out on Airbnb, and he allegedly hadn't paid the tax. But it sounds to me more like he's been assessed rather than he's been actually looked at or accused of it. But then again, a stat demand doesn't go to the High Court to sue for bankruptcy unless HMRC think they've got a case against him, which usually means that they've ascertained how much tax is due, or or he's ignoring them, or they're just based and don't believe him. So, but I think there's more to the story. I don't think people in prominent places deliberately go out of the way to make themselves a public ridicule like that. So, but Adam, if you're watching this and you want someone to have another look at your accounts, I'm here. But moving on. Sorry, Graham, we've jumped a few steps then. I know you desperately wanted to talk about something. Was it the Love Island star that we've promised everybody? Do you watch Love Island?
I do not watch Love Island. No.
I don't.
I just want to put boobs on the thumbnail, Stephen. You know me.
Well, I've had a lot of stick about that, and really, our people that put these posters up, what they've done is they've put our poster up. I don't know if you saw it on LinkedIn. And usually, what we do is every week we say what the topics we're going to talk about and do a demonstration of the picture. Like if we're going to talk about shoes or a shoe business, they might have a picture of a shoe on it to make the whole thing look very arty. And in this case, they didn't show me the picture that was going out beforehand, and they've put a girl in a swimsuit, in a bikini all over the place. And I've been getting people thinking, well, it's a nice picture, but you're supposed to be a respectable accountant running a very respectable firm of accountants, and do we want boobs all over the place? And I said, a lot of accountants do go for this sort of thing, but in private. So I absolutely agree with them. So that was a bit of an embarrassing situation for me. Graham.
Yeah.
I want you to take, you printed it out and put it in the bathroom. I want you to take it down. You shouldn't have pictures like that in the bathroom.
That's the staff bathroom, though.
Yeah, but it's only you that uses it, because after you've been in it, it's toxic.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm not excusing you. No,
do you know what, right?
But anyway,
I respect the elderly, so I'm not going to respond to that.
Thank you. But I'm not that interested in Love Island. I'm not that interested in the people in the picture. I'm not even that interested in Montana Brown, because I'd never heard of her before I saw this article, because I'm not attuned to this type of thing. But what I did like is that she's brought out a product, which is great. She's shamelessly using her fame from Love Island to create her own brand of swimwear, ethical swimwear. I don't know what ethical swimwear is. Maybe it's the way it's made. We're not using dolphin skin. However, what does interest me is that there's a fairly local firm that's been set up called Fearless Adventures. I've never spoken to them before. I don't know who they are. I just looked them up, and it seems quite good, because what I do like is that they're a company that comes from with a marketing background, which is immensely useful, and they're putting up venture capital, venture funding to back some small businesses, and I do like that. And they're actually, I looked at the website, and they're actually looking for suitable people to back. So I'm going to put the website, that if you want, maybe it's an option for you, contact them direct, or come to me and I'll suss through the idea with you, and maybe approach funders like this for you direct if you're too shy and whatever. But this is why I like that story. It's not so much the swimsuit, it's not so much Love Island. It's just the fact that there are firms out there that are backing enterprise in the UK and small businesses. So there's some light at the end of the tunnel that could benefit you. So I'm just going to cross that off. Graham, if you put the notes up.
Yep.
Do you know, we were just saying it's
Which
amazing.
notes? Do you mean the website?
The Fearless Adventures.
Yeah, of course I did. Dead on the dot of you saying it,
and
mate.
do mention me, if you do contact them. Just say, oh, this accountant on the show said I should contact you because you're going to give us loads of free money. So what we're looking at now next. So we were having a good old chit chat before about the mandatory vaccination for frontline NHS people, weren't we? And we were saying, should they be forced to inoculate themselves? What do you think, Graham? You're very big on this.
Well, I think when there's an actual vaccine for it, then maybe, but there isn't one just so far, is there? There's a jab you can take that makes it slightly less severe if you catch it, but it doesn't stop you spreading it. So what's the difference?
Well, I think that what I was saying before, because you're an anti-vaxxer, aren't you? You're one of those. I want to say pricks, but I don't want to. You don't want the prick. No, I think people should be made. People should have their own choices. But my take is that I'm getting on a bit. I've got all sorts of things wrong with me, and if it wasn't for modern medicine, I probably wouldn't be here. So you'd have to listen to Graham more. But so I make a decision based on a global viewpoint that they've got these. In general, the National Health Service and the government behind that do try and keep us all healthy, well, and as young as we can possibly be and vibrant as we can be. And in general, we're still here. In general, we have nicer TVs to watch. In general, we're healthier, live longer. So why would I not take a vaccine that the government have suggested that we take? And look at where we were last year and the year before. It was awful. And now we're society's sort of back to normal. I mean, there's been a few social changes, but we can go out and we can do what we want. So when we start inviting you to our events, we're having a Christmas party, so go to Ticketmaster and do register to come. But when we do this type of thing, at least we can do it without worrying that we're going to catch the virus. And even if we do, it's not as big a problem for us as it was a little while ago. What do you say?
No, well, it's not a suggestion, is it? If you're going to lose your job for not taking it, then the government isn't suggesting that you take the vaccine. It's forcing you to do it, and there's quite an important difference there. I think there's a very, very good. There's a lot of very good reasons to get it, especially if you're older or vulnerable. But I don't think the government should be forcing anyone to do it.
Do I remember when seatbelts came out and they're forcing everyone to wear seatbelts, and I was like, I am not going to wear a seatbelt because the government are telling me to. And now I look back and I think, how many lives have been saved, and how many, idiots driving like idiots.
All right, so we're destroying evolution then, aren't we? If you're an idiot and you don't want to wear a seatbelt, then don't wear a seatbelt and
then
die.
You open and die.
Well, then,
but that's the same with the vaccines, isn't it?
Well, yeah, good.
So
but that's if it's really that bad, then let nature decide. We're at the moment we've got this government control in the sense.
You're like saying that if people got deformities, let them suffer.
No, I'm saying we're keeping idiots alive, and those idiots are having kids. We're destroying the bloodline, Stephen.
Well, you should be grateful for that. You should be grateful that's not what we're doing. We just, because you'd be... Sorry, Graham, I shouldn't be rude to you. Because
how dare you?
Without
how
you,
dare you?
This whole place would fall apart. No, another attitude, because we are a business show, is that, you know what? If your customers are uncomfortable coming to your place, and you can prove to them that your place, your restaurant, your shop, your business is safer, and you do take steps to look after people, then from a business point of view, you go with what customers want. And if I was in hospital and I had people looking after me that were not inoculated by this horrible disease or any other, you know, it would make me more uncomfortable. So I think sometimes you've got to put customers first. And anyway, why would
I agree with you. Like, hey, if you want to advertise the fact that you're all vaccinated, brilliant. I think
I'm going
for
my booster and flu jab soon.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. And you do that. Put a sign above your door. I just don't think the government should be involved in any way whatsoever.
But the government involved in every aspect of your life, from your birth certificate to your
That doesn't mean it's okay. That doesn't mean it's...
I think we live in a world of lesser of evils, don't we?
No, we're born into a shocking amount of control and nanny statism, and an invasion of our privacy, and it's just got to the point now where we don't even question it.
Graham, there's pictures of you half naked, plastered, drunk off your head, all over the internet.
Boris Johnson didn't force me to put them up there, though, did he?
Maybe you were nudged.
We've had a request.
Oh, okay.
A Mr. Happy Dog.
Oh, again. Hello, Happy Dog.
He's asked if he can be Santa for the Christmas party.
Absolutely.
I don't think he wants paying. He just wants to bounce Charlie on his knee.
That's okay. Let's get him booked.
Nope.
And I said booked.
Nope.
So, okay.
I'll send him the details tonight. Don't you worry.
Nope. Well, you know, this business with the mandatory vaccination, I think that if something's a sensible thing to do and it protects society as a whole, I don't have a problem with the government interfering. In fact, looking at business sometimes, I've noticed a trend of those people who follow government guidelines, which are law, they develop better businesses. I think people trying to buck the trend and not doing what they're told and what they should do struggle more in the long run and for longer. I'm always advocating good bookkeeping is good business, and you might think, wow, how did he manage to twist having the COVID vaccine of NHS workers into a business plug? But it's true. I think sometimes if we don't do the right thing, we're forced to do the right thing, and we're better for it. Oh, I don't know. So, anything else, Graham, or can I cut you off on that one?
Yeah, I've got nothing else to say. Well, I've got a lot to say, but not right now.
No, after the show. Okay, well, I've finished.
I'm going to have to do it at my own private stream at some point. Just scream for 45 minutes.
You mean like our average coffee break? You know. Do you know one thing that you know everybody might want to look at is, I'm following this situation with Greggs because they've launched a big, I think £100 million legal claim against Zurich for their insurers for loss of profits during the COVID season. Now, I'm not sure that COVID is an excuse or is an insurable event, because I think they're going to claim it's been a pandemic and it's an act of God, so we ain't going to pay out. But it might be worth looking at your insurance policies, or at least contacting your insurance company, and maybe you've got a claim. I don't know. Find out if you do have a claim, what the terms of the claim are, and you'll certainly need some accounts to show the dip in your profits. So, but before you start contacting me to look at your accounts and explain it all, just contact your insurance company and see on what terms you've got a case. And I'll keep you informed what goes on with Zurich and see if that acts as a precedence for this case. If they win, I guarantee you'll have loads of PPI salesmen contacting you to make claims against insurance companies. But you know, it's an interesting thing. Would you sue your insurance company for loss of earnings, Graham?
Insurance? No.
No. What about you, Hayden? Have you insured anything?
No say.
Do you know, I was listening in on a conversation the other day, and I was in Bury in a bar. And no, I do that because it's a way of.
I didn't know they had a gay district down in Bury now. That's amazing.
Well, I'll get the address for you, Graham. I'm surprised you didn't know.
I'm usually up on these things.
You are. In fact, I've never ever seen you in one of these bars, so obviously there's a reason for that.
It's because I go dressed as a teddy bear, Stephen.
I don't know what that means. I'm sure it means something to somebody. But what you made me forget what I was going to say then. About we finished insurance, weren't we? Oh yeah. No, it's just there's people. Do you know that there's actually people that have set up companies in order to claim bounce back loans, grants, all sorts of things. That's the only reason why they've set it. No, they have. But if that's what you've done, I don't really want to know. I don't want to get involved. Where are we now? Why did you want to do an update on Evergrande? That's the company in China that owes billions and billions.
Oh, that was yours one. Well, have they defaulted or something?
They defaulted on owed bonds. So even the big firms default. Do you care, Graham?
Well, it's meaningless in China, isn't it? Their whole financial system's so corrupt that it's like, what difference does it make? 400 billion.
Do you think they're corrupt?
Of course they are. It's China. Filthy communist.
I like China.
I loved it as a place, but in terms of its...
But business, you feel powerful there. You feel, if you've got an idea, it goes into play in days, not months.
You know what it is as well, Stephen? Me and you feel quite tall over there, don't we?
Do you know Summer?
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
Suddenly, you're like, oh, this is how it is for Aiden every day then, is it?
Just call me Gulliver.
No wonder he's cocky.
No, it is true, because I'm only 5'9", probably shrinking, and when every time I've been out there, I'm sort of walking and people are at shoulder height, and I think, oh, I can see ahead, that's what a road looks like further down.
Time to do some business.
No, I did like it there, because if you want an idea for a product or even a service, everyone, they're either working or sleeping, and it was a great atmosphere. I like that. You feel you can do anything, and then when you come back here, it's like you got to phone someone 10 times before they pick up the phone. Anyway, let's not moan about that. We've done the Tory MP thing, haven't we? We've done that one. Did we mention Superman?
No.
It really upset me, this. It's not the fact they're changing from truth, justice, and the American way. It's that they're changing from truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Now, I'm okay with that, because Superman's a international character now. It's not just America, and that sort of implies that the American way is somehow better than everybody else's way. But there was another thing where the son of Superman is now gay. That's been a bit of an outcry, hasn't it? Should we change our products? Should we change our styles? Should we test the market before, because there's been a bit of a backlash against this?
I don't actually read comics, but I follow the industry. I follow it really closely. It's fascinating. There's a guy called Ethan Van Sciver who left DC and is currently a millionaire because he left DC.
Yeah.
The people at Marvel and DC are earning poverty wages, and they keep doing stuff like making Superman gay or the Flash gay or whoever. They're all gay now, or
because they're trying to pander to a market, aren't they?
They're trying to pander to a market that doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's a very small market.
It goes viral on Twitter.
Well, this is what I meant.
No one cares.
This is what I meant. It doesn't draw the mainstream to watch it, and the sort of niche that they're looking for isn't that into it anyway. I mean, comics are a fairly small niche anyhow, but I think that's a lesson in products in general. It's not always what goes on in your head that sells something. If you've got an idea, great. If it's controversial, get your attention, but test it out first and sample it and see whether people actually want to do this, so you don't ruin years of built up branding and what off. I mean, I'm told constantly to shut up in case I offend somebody. There was something else I want to talk about. Oh, business ideas. At the moment, there's a lot of people that they're either don't want to go back to work, or there's no work in the area that they want to be in, and this has often been a problem. What do you do? I mean, how easy is it to either set up a new company or set up a new idea, or to go and you set up a new product? So product's one thing, a business is another thing, but they do interchange a bit. And I've always found that the first thing to do is look at what it is what element you want to do. Like if you're, I don't know, if you're a blogger, maybe become a consultant for people to blog, maybe blog for other people. If you know how to repair computers and things, then there's another business that you can set up. And these days it's so easy to advertise because you've got social media and you've got emails and you've got that. So it becomes easier to set a business up. Now, there's also some amazing software out there, and this software for everything. I was talking to a client the other day, and a few, and they were interested in wills because a lot of people don't have wills. So I thought, well, I know how to write a will, but I haven't got the time to write wills, and I haven't got the time to review wills. And I just went online to see if there was any software that could help. And you know what? There's software out there that you can rent, that all you do is you can even ask people to fill in the forms themselves, or you can just guide them through it, type into the software, or even speak into the software, and it creates a fully formed will and automatically sends out copies to clients and everybody else that needs to see it, and then log it where it's supposed to be logged. And all these things you can keep running in the background, good little side business or an extra product to your existing business, or even a business in its own right. But this software that does everything, not just for running the product, but also for running systems, running processes as well. So you might have 2 or 3 different items of software that will help you run the business. What I think everybody should do, because I'm certainly doing it and I'm having it looked at as we speak, all of our systems, to monitor the systems that we use, to look at our processes, and then find if there's any software that we can install to make things run better. Like one of the things we're having put in at the moment now is that as we're writing up clients' books, a software can run through all of the invoices that people raise and analyze the risk in them, and then offer an insurance base to insure against debt. That's just one little thing. And if you do have, but like I'm saying, it starts with sort of like looking at your processes first. So, we can do that for you. There's lots of people that can do that for you. And you can document the processes and then find software. And if you can't find it, we've got people that quite cheaper than people think, sometimes hundreds of pounds, not thousands or tens of thousands of pounds, can sometimes build this software or the app that you're looking at building. Sometimes if you've got an idea, you can develop it into an app. Like people I know that make games. So as well as the board game, they can make the game as an app as well, and I've got people that can help you develop that. But do talk to me about ideas. Don't tell your accountants about ideas. In fact, don't just talk. Let's get them out there. There are potential funders. In fact, Graham, do you remember? I remember reading somewhere. Was there somebody that demonstrated a game, something in London, on Dragon's Den, and they sort of like ridiculed it, and now it's sort of like worth like £100 million or something.
I don't know. That happens a lot though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
On Dragon's Den, they turn the noses, but especially digital stuff, because they don't understand it.
No, and they also like seeing things that are already there, and they can do it a bit better rather than something new. And
Yeah. Do you know what though? I think if I ever went on Dragon's Den, it would just be to promote myself. Because they always want a huge part of your company for a tiny bit of money, and it's like, I'll just get a bank loan.
Well, it's a TV station, it's a TV show.
Of course,
But the point is, there are an awful lot of people out there with businesses or not with businesses who have good ideas, but they don't know how to present those ideas properly, or let alone raise investment for them. So I'm your first point of call. Come and talk to me. I'm quite happy to look into that. Now, one of the items that I was looking at, because as you know, I'm a big fan of science, and sometimes I think, should I have gone into the science worlds, the medical worlds, the tech worlds instead of accountancy? And I thought no, because I probably wouldn't have made as much money, but I'd have enjoyed myself in it. One of the things that has happened is that in Silicon Valley, there's a group of investors, quite large investors, that have put together a consortium, a foundation, and they've invested $1 billion into this research, to research into human life and aging. So their goal now is to extend human life and to make us all feel better and younger, and maybe live forever. So that's an interesting thing. You would certainly have to have a lot more provision for income if we're going to live a long time. But no one thinks of that. They just think, well, I'm going to live a lot longer, but they don't think, well, how am I going to live? So if you finish working at 65 and you want to travel the world, or you want to enjoy yourself for the next 100 years, and you're going to need some income coming in. I think that's pretty much true now, because people are living longer and healthier, and I think we need to establish income. I keep meaning to put together an event where we talk about things like universal basic income and how that could work. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll put the event on. By the way, talking about being ill and problems, the London Trials Company are looking for people to test and measure and monitor with certain illnesses. So I know that people with asthma or COPD. What's COPD again, Graham?
I can't remember what it stands for. It's your lungs, though. It's
something to do with your lungs,
yeah,
isn't it? So if you've got these problems, if you contact them, you can earn up to £4,000 by being a bit of a guinea pig for them and letting them test. So you might as well go and
finally,
register.
years of smoking is going to come up good for me.
It's got to pay off, isn't it, Graham?
£4,000?
£4,000.
I've never even heard that much money before. Never mind seeing it.
Have you put the website for people to register up?
Of course, stop asking me that.
I don't know.
I have.
It stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
That's the one.
That sounds good. Yeah. It doesn't sound good, but it's
you need to trust me, Stephen. Everything's sliding in just as it should do. Don't you worry.
I'm just used to incompetence. Years and years of incompetence, and I'm sorry, Graham, I do apologise, because you're no longer that man, are you? You're no longer that incompetent dickhead, are you?
Oh my God!
Just because that's what Hayden calls you doesn't mean to say that you are.
You shouldn't have gone there, man. You shouldn't have brought Hayden into it.
Have you put that picture up of me naked?
Oh no, but I'm going to find one now.
Before we do the NASA clip, and before we finish, should we do your quote of the day?
Yes, I would love to. Yes.
Do you want to read it?
Oh, yes, I would love to. Yeah, that's right. That's my favourite bit. I get to read it.
I'll just have a glass of water.
Yes. Every problem is a gift. Without problems, we would not grow. And that's Anthony Robbins.
It's a good quote, isn't it? It's like mother is the mother. No, what? Not the mother. What do they call it? That necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes, and Jocko with good. Do you remember we featured that?
Oh yeah, he did that as well.
Just whatever happens, the answer is good.
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 That means we can learn and grow.
Yeah, we didn't get the investment. Good. Yeah. We own more of the company.
Sometimes the more fuck ups you make, the better you get. So on that note, thank you for watching. We're gonna just hang on a minute while we put on the NASA program, and I hope to see you all very soon at one of our events. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.